repeated cuts on a mitre saw, or in this case, a radial arm saw. Now, I just basically just clamp a piece of wood on the end there, and that is my stop. But there's a better way of doing it, which I hope to explain in this video. And it might seem a little bit odd, but bear with us. Now, the problem with having a stop like this, just a piece of wood clamped to the top, well, all the sawdust that might build up doing it caught by your dust extractor will build up against the stop. So every time you place your piece of wood up against the stop, you're basically scraping all the sawdust and trapping it at the end there. And eventually you'll find that by the time you cut your 10th piece, it's going to be about, I don't know, about 10 millimetres shorter than your first piece, if you know what I mean, because it's just compacting all that sawdust. There's also another issue, okay? And that issue is that every time you tap this up against there, say for instance, you're potentially going to knock that stop. Even though it's clamped down, you're going to knock it like that each time. And effectively get further and further away from the saw blade, hence making your wood longer, not shorter. Well, there is a better way, okay? And this is something I've learned over the years, and it's a simple technique, okay? You're still using your piece of wood that you're going to use for your stop, alright? But this technique does two things, alright? One, it stops the wood from being able to be knocked and sliding backwards each time, but also it gives it somewhere for the sawdust to go. So let's say, for instance, you've made your first cut, alright, with your saw, alright, you made your first cut. Let's say, for instance, the piece, you just cut that, alright, and that is the length you want, all your pieces of wood, alright? Well, all you've got to do, right, is grab this piece of wood, instead of going like that, or like that, okay, don't, go at an angle, about 45 degrees, okay? So this point here becomes your stop. Now, the magical bit is, all that space there can fill up with sawdust. Yeah, or can all go in there, don't matter. It ain't going to affect the distance between that corner and the saw blade. So yeah, literally just clamp it on there like that, alright? But there's another good point about this, or another good reason to do it this way. And that is because when you push here, the load isn't transferred that way. It's actually transferred into your fence at this point. It doesn't move. It doesn't move. It stays put. You see? Whereas if it's that way, it can just do that. It works, you know. It really does. Obviously, it's better if you've got slides in your tops of your mitre station and stuff like that, so you can have these little screw-down slides and move them up and down, or maybe you've got a system on the back of your fence and what have you. You know, I could fit one on here, just ain't got round to it, you know. But simple to do, really. And obviously that'd be better. But if you haven't, this actually works. It's just an offcut you've got laying about. Just clamp it at a 45-degree angle instead of perpendicular to the fence. And trust me, it's much more secure and repeatable. Toodaloo! Anyway, put the like button, maybe subscribe to the channel, and maybe the little bell icon, so you get one fuzz video in your pocket every time I upload another video. And I'll try not to tickle your jewels.